Peter, what are your thoughts on the change in the vaccine schedule for children? I know Nick Hulsher has been hard at work looking at crunching the data and talking about the deleterious effects of these excessive vaccine programs. It seems to me like we're getting into kind of a rational recommendation program.
And it came from the President of the United States. He tweeted out and through social, he essentially gave the order to do this. He told Jim O'Neill to do this. It didn't come from Robert F. Kennedy or anybody else. This was a Trump, what I call boss move from Trump, that Trump listened to mothers. The sequence of events was McCullough Foundation produces its report on autism spectrum disorder that links vaccines to autism in susceptible children. Combination vaccines in the modern day, are a risk factor for the development of autism. Then 3 weeks later, the CDC changes its stance on vaccines and autism on their website. Now, we had a press release at McCullough Foundation. We sent our report to O'Neill and Kennedy and everybody at HHS and at the White House. And sure enough, within 90 days, Trump just gives the order to make the change. Now, it's trimming the overall schedule, 17 diseases to 11, dropping the total number of doses by 55. All the vaccines are still available. And just like in Denmark, doctors will make decisions with patients on what's appropriate. And I can tell you as a doctor, Dr. Drew, that, I know when a patient needs a pneumococcal vaccine and a meningococcal vaccine.
Right.
For instance, my brother-in-law, who's had his spleen removed, I was all over him to get vaccinated. So it's very important.
Yeah,
we know what people need vaccines, and there are core vaccines and then the extras.
Yeah, the hepatitis B was such a bizarre thing to me because I was involved with that one. And a reminder that 88 countries do not have vaccine mandates. 3 of 5 communist countries do not have vaccine mandates. And I don't, you didn't know that one?
No.
China does not have vaccine mandates. China does not have vaccine mandates. I want you to think about that. And
can I ask you a question?
We need to get rid of the vaccine mandates here altogether, but maybe in Florida first. But go ahead, Susan.
Dr. McCullough, what are your thoughts on the shingles vaccine? We just had recently a friend get shingles, a young woman, and I was like, uh-oh.
Let's see what he says. I'm curious.
Well, yeah, Susan, it depends if you took the chickenpox vaccine as a child. Now, there's 5 studies showing if you took the chickenpox vaccine as a child, you're much more likely to get shingles than somebody who had natural chickenpox. So I'll give you my case. I had natural chickenpox as a kid. And, I went ahead and took the shingles vaccine, both the doses now. And the second time, it was the roughest vaccine I ever took. I thought my arm was going to fall off.
Me too.
I'm not going to take any more. Yeah.
Oh.
It was brutal.
Okay. But
you, I'm sure have seen, and I've certainly seen plenty of incredibly painful, disabling post-herpetic neuralgia from shingles. I don't want it. I certainly don't want it.
But I got chickenpox twice when my triplets got it as a kid because I didn't have it as a kid and I didn't know and I didn't get the vaccine. So what if you get it in your 30s naturally?
Well, you probably have obviously solid protection against chickenpox. And I imagine your risk is the same as mine for shingles. Here's the point about shingles. It must be treated on day 1. Valacyclovir or Valtrex plus prednisone. Yeah. People contact me, they're already 2 weeks into shingles. Those are the ones who get post-herpetic neuralgia. And Dr. Drew is right. It can be brutal.
Yeah, you're so right about the early treatment. I can't tell you how many people go, I have a spider bite, or I've got, they come in with all kinds of ideas about what this is. I'm like, that's a single dermatome. That's got to be shingles. That's just got to be. And, people are not educated about it, I guess. And we've seen it in some young people lately. It's kind of weird and concerning. I don't know if it's some post-COVID or post-COVID vaccine phenomenon. I don't know if you've seen this, but young people with shingles is sort of a trend right now. And I've seen that.
Maybe because they had the vaccine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, no,
Susan, as a child. It's both the infection, it's both SARS-CoV-2 infection and the vaccine, I think, has lowered our immune defenses on varicella zoster because I'm seeing shingles in both the vaccinated and unvaccinated.
Yeah, that makes perfect
But
sense.
I mean
to
the
me.
chickenpox vaccine, not the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, no, we're seeing it's not having no.
Oh God.
Yeah,
It's so
I don't know why
confusing.
by the way, I don't understand why the chickenpox vaccine is on the on the sort of schedule for vaccines. I'm going to talk to Dr. Milhoen in a second about the ACIP and the the ACIP. But that one has surprised me. I didn't let my kids get that vaccine because when it was new, I don't know if you remember this, they got chickenpox. Because when it was new, there were some terrible reactions, Guillain-Barré and whatnot, in Japan. I mean, do you remember this? And so it was brand new when my kids were baby, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I don't think they should get this vaccine. So they get chickenpox, big deal. And that's what we went through. So all these vaccines are not that well studied when they come to the market. So anyway, we'll see. All right, Dr. McCullough, we so appreciate when you stop by, and I just love your work. And Nick, we are so grateful for what he's doing. He's been very kind to come by and review some of his data with us. What's coming up for you? Where do you want people to go to hear about where you're doing these things and what you're doing?
Well, make sure people go to McCullough Foundation, McCulloughFND.org. We've got some great plans for next year. We've got some big grant-funded projects. Check out my professional website for patient visits, petermcculloughmd.com. Of course, America Out Loud Talk News, McCullough Report, and then go to Focal Points, sign up, thefocalpoints.com. Get an update every day between 4 and 5 a.m. Central. That's where people are getting the critical abstracts and the scientific information to help guide them, since all of us now have to be in this world of public health.
It's so true. And finally, where can people get the McCullough protocol if they're worried that they have any post-COVID or post-vaccine injury?
Right. So McCullough protocol is on my professional website, petermcculloughmd.com. It's also on the wellness company website, twc.health, and at McCullough Foundation, McCulloughFND.org. So McCullough protocol, most widely used approach to treat acute COVID-19, and then McCullough protocol base spike protein detoxification, the most widely used fundamental approach to handle long COVID and vaccine injury syndromes.
And you're seeing good results?
Yeah, now it takes time, but we're seeing good results. We're seeing the converse.
Yeah.
People do not get better from long COVID or vaccine injury syndrome without the McCullough protocol, and that's in the Ultimate Spike Detox from the wellness company. It's this product here, Ultimate Spike Detox. I'm not seeing patients
Susan,
get better without it. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter went out and got a vaccine, had a reaction. I said, get the spike detox.
I don't want to talk about it.
Don't get anything else, just get the spike detox. But
yeah, I gave her the spike detox. We got to get the super ultimate one though, right? That's the one that you...
Spike detox,
yeah,
Susan,
I have the old one.
Susan, you got to stick with it for about a year. No, it's not a quick fix.
She seemed a lot better today. She had a really bad day yesterday, and I don't know why she did it, but she did. And we're going to give it to her for a year.
Lastly, what do you make of Dr. Redfield's theory that some of this is a mast cell mediated phenomenon? It doesn't fit for me, but he's very convinced of that. Do you have that same feeling as well?
That it's what type?
Post-vaccine is a mast cell mediated, like a mast cell instability, M-A-S-T, mast cell instability.
MAST, the mast cells and basophils are the main cells that contain histamine, and they can be easily triggered. The spike protein is the core of this. And yes, people, probably everybody who's taken the vaccine or had long COVID has an easier discharge of histamine and other mediators from these cells, but it's due to the spike protein. It's not a spontaneous problem that's unrelated.
No.
The basis of everything we're seeing right now is the spike protein.
Yes, this is the part that people have to get. And so if you're going to take a vaccine for the pathogenic to deliver the pathogenic protein to you, you need to think long and hard about it, because it makes no sense to me, particularly in an unregulated fashion in which it's produced by the mRNA vaccines. Anyway, that's a longer conversation. We've had it before. Dr. McCullough, thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.